Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast series Aeturnum Insights. We are very happy to have you today with us. We have a very special guest today, Chandana, who is one of our senior project managers at Aeturnum. We are going to talk about a very special topic that we care a lot about here at Aeturnum. It's about quality assurance. So today we are going to talk about this subject in the podcast because this podcast series is to celebrate our 20th year of operations in Sri Lanka. So that's a major milestone that we are celebrating this year. So to celebrate that, we wanted to start this podcast to share our knowledge, share our ideas with everybody else. So when it comes to software quality assurance, there are several key areas that we have to look at. Now, when it comes to AI adoption, I think Chandana has got a very good examples and experience with regard to quality assurance. So, Chandana, thank you very much for joining, and we are very happy to have you here. We are going to ask you a few questions around software quality assurance and how you have adapted, AI, and especially your team, how they have adapted and they have responded to AI as well. So, Chandana, just to kick things off, how has quality assurance evolved from manual testing to automation, and with AI involved on top of that? How do you think it has evolved?
Yeah, thanks, Kishan, and thanks for inviting me for this session. It's my pleasure. So, of course, it's a good question. So as you know, Kishan, the quality assurance was undergone in past few decades, significantly the significant revolution actually. So we know that we started with the manual testing, the people, their hands-on. So then after that, little bit shifted into the automation, and now we have the AI workflows which can support for this transformation. So then now when it comes to this AI, actually, probably in previously we may think like, okay, how this can help us, then whether it helps actually. So, but when you go into that, so then we knew that yeah, this is massive thing. But this is because of this massive the scope and everything. So then I think now we can see that AI, it's not only supporting, like we know that generally the people they use it for the code generation at the beginning, but now it's not only for the code generation, it will be expanded into these other software development lifecycle activities. Simply now we can say that okay, now we are generating not only the code, now AI is giving us some sort of a opportunity to little bit expand the scope into other SDLC phases, and proactively we can catch up things like we can work the requirements, we can sort of analysis, then traceabilities. So then after that, it's we need the automation, we can generate the automation reports, then after that the reporting. So that's a massive cycle we can ride it, but we should be very carefully. So this is where I can see this revolution is coming in China, and also the result is our QA engineers, they can reduce a lot of repetitive tasks, like most time taken the task in the project. So then they can invest that time for more like critical thinking, and also that they can invest it for the exploratory testing. Also, likewise, they can invest that time. So definitely, it helps.
Correct. So yeah, so sounds really exciting. I think exciting. We are in very exciting times with regard to the adoption of AI. In like you very correctly said, in right throughout the SLC, and making sure that we take AI and boost our productivity. I think that's the main involvement. I think diving into the motivation sector, Chandana, what made you, or in your project, what made you or the key stakeholders to adopt AI when it comes to the software quality engineering?
Yeah. The first thing, Krishan, our motivation was not only adapting to the AI, since it's because of the new trend in the world, but actually we can clearly understand our engineering challenges, which we can solve through the AI. So that's the first motivation we had. So then, especially with the QA frameworks, AI driven QA frameworks, it's giving us lots of facilities, efficiency, and also the value deliveries. Like not only the, as I mentioned, to Kusha, not only the code deliveries. So then people can start up with the requirement gathering, like how the framework is supporting them to the clarify. So then the test planning, the traceabilities, likewise. So we have lots of benefits to that. But when it comes to the new change, it's a complete mindset change we have. So then actually we are facing such challenges, but in Aeturnum, I think we are so lucky because our people, they take it as really positive. Because first of all, like they were in like little bit traditional mindset about the QA, and then we come to the automation, we saw that okay, again we have some resistance. But now with the AI, we can see that okay, it's a new thing. So can we adapt or not? Like us, but the frameworks and also this awareness and also the interest in Aeturnum, like top management to the bottom, like okay, for the transformation. So people got that as a kind of a benefit. Okay, we can get out of that. So then this AI transformation is gave them kind of a positive vibe. Okay, if we absorb that, so then we can expand at our scope. So one example, Kushan, let's say if engineer is trying to complete 50 test cases let's say within the sprint, but if it's AI, he or she can expand that scope even like okay with the new the traceabilities and also risk-based evaluations likewise. So then slowly it was a really challenging situation because we had to change the mind with the right plan. That means first of all we asked them to train with the tools. So then after that we bring in a little bit of the discipline. That means governance and also the checks through the audits. So this is how we started this, and also our team, especially one of my projects, CRM, one of CRM project. So this is how we started actually. Like first of all, we did not ask our engineers to okay, you need to do the custom agent and everything. No, we gave them okay. First of all, let's be familiar with the code. So then little bit of discipline and also the standard practices in governance. So then they slowly came to this point. So now actually I'm really happy because most of our like I would say the majority of our projects like in that type of situation.
Yeah, thanks, Chandana, for walking us through. I think that's a very big sort of challenge that everybody has adopting these AI tools because it's a mindset, like you correctly said, and there should be some guidance, top level leadership, and we should always remind them that AI is not an enemy. It's there to help us, to motivate us, to increase our productivity, and making sure at the end of the day we give that benefit back to the client that we are servicing. So, like you correctly said, it's very important for us to help our team to make sure that we do proper R&D to find out about which tools to use, which tools not to use. And I think the tools out there will, I mean, not all tools will help you, but most of the tools will help you achieve your tasks. So diving into tools, Chandana, how have you making to make sure that you plan and select the correct tools for your requirements? Are there any tricks or are there any ways that you can share to make sure that you selected the correct tool to improve your speed, productivity, and efficiency?
Yeah, true, Prashant. So now I think mainly we are using in Aeturnum we are using the Copilot agents and also we are using Cloud. But when it comes to specific question like let's say in my project, CRM engineering, like first of all we need to get the clear requirement. Okay, what exactly we can deliver.
Yeah.
So I also have a capacity because we know that even we have the AI, some activities still we need to do manually because some sort of like very deep checks and everything. So then with the architects and also the team, like, okay, we are evaluating, okay, for this type of work, okay, which tool is giving us the maximum benefit, not only it's not like the prompt and get the response and proceed further. We are thinking about our cost even, so like the token usage and everything. So, like I said, we need to come up with a set of tools. Those can be candidate for our project. So then we are doing kind of pilot run. But pilot run, it's not a full project. Specific task. Let's say from dev perspective, okay, we are taking average complexity work, and we are working through this. Let's say it would be the Copilot or the Cloud Vision. So then we are evaluating the result. Similarly for the QA tool, like okay, which tool is good for this requirement analysis and also the traceabilities and also the code generation library. So out of that, so then we are concluding that okay, for this project, we are selecting this tool, and these are the criteria we will observe. And okay, we have this plus point here. And these are the things for the QA, and this is the plus point. So this is how we are coming up with the tools. And also, like when it comes to the tool, the next thing is we clearly see that even though we suggest some tools to our members, still we need to educate them. So there's some small the time also we need to improve them and giving the knowledge. So that also were part of these the tool evaluations. And I need to appreciate this R&D team, right? So they are supporting a lot because when we need something, additionally our work, so they are supporting us too. This is how we evaluate the tools. Sure.
Chandana, in your projects, can you give us some examples about measurable stats on how you improve the QA efficiencies and speed productivity like we discussed?
Yeah, sure. So I have a long list, but I'll give you one or two. That I think that will be enough. So the first thing in this critical, the CRM project. So we wanted to do our first just automation. So then initially we got the manual effort. It was 74 days, Kushan, but it's a very complex 6 modules. So then 74 days, including our buffers, the risks and everything. So then we select as I mentioned, Kushan, like we clearly identify the tools and also our frameworks, guidance, everything. So then we complete within 28 days.
Wow.
So that's the massive gain.
Sure.
I think roughly it was around 68% of effort reduction and all. So that I think nearly 160 productivity gain percentage. It's a massive productivity gain. So again, Kushan, it was like kind of a boost to the team as well. Oh, we can achieve massively here. So then we kept on improving that as well. This is the first thing. And also from the productivity delivery speed wise, it's like 2.2 or 2.6 type of the speed we got that. And the second thing is now this is related to this the purely requirement, the analysis, then test plan generation, scenario generation, the code and everything. And push on these 28 days, it's including our CI/CD pipeline integrations too. So usually we are spending additional time for that. But now these 28 days with everything. So that's, I think, is a very complete the release. So then, Prashant, now we are doing continuously. And now this until today, I think it now our total productivity gain is project quality engineering. It is nearly 80%. That's a massive gap. Because now we are trying to maintain our 0 bug backlog. That's the next achievement. But we are trying our best to do that. The second thing is, Prashant, now we had to do another gap analysis when it comes to the CRM, the platform throughput version 1 from version 2. So initially, the manual effort was around 8 to 10 days of time, but successfully we completed within 2 days, like 75% of productivity gain. And also outside, I can share lots of things. Then outside that, not only the project thing, Vishal, there are some projects the client is expecting to achieve their targets from the AI perspective. So there's one project they are delivering now using AI. And also, I recently heard that the client feedback was very positive. So they're encouraging to do that. So this is how things got. And we have massive the gains option from that.
I think the other benefit, Chandana, if I'm not mistaken, is the motivation the employees get.
Exactly.
Because that's that's also equally important, I guess, because it is, they will also think, okay, we have a tool, we can effectively use it within the framework that is defined by the company, and make sure they do more to service the client. I think thanks for the example, Chandana. I think that those are very valuable for our audience as well. I think our final question is about looking ahead and about what you see in the next upcoming. I think AI changes every day, right? So it's I think it's according to your perspective. I just want to understand, what you think in this quality assurance framework, what you see in the future when it comes to AI adoption?
Yeah, good question, Kushan. So, first of all, Kushan, now I think both of us we know that initially people get used to do this individual the productivity they use these AI tools, but nowadays this been expanded into AI related workflows. Particularly, I would say the custom agentic models like that. So this is the future. I think if the company can adapt into this AI, but with people, we need the people get really important because whatever the things AI is giving, we need to verify. So with people and with its standardized the AI flows will definitely help. Why I'm saying this because now if you take this example, like moving from individual AI seminars and like collaborations into this like AI flow related stuff, custom agent models. So then now it is impacted to the quality engineering. So then they can start from the requirement, they can adapt it to these clarifications like that throughout the software testing life cycle. Now it is empowered. So in future, I would say if any company they can adapt people definitely with the mindset change and everything, including this AI workflows, I think that's the future. Because nowadays we can't say that okay, this is difficult because now AI is giving us a solution. So I think in Aeturnum, right, Prashant, we have the plus point because we started with individual tool usage. So then we moved to the custom, agentic flows. So now we are in custom agent levels. So I think, as you said, we have lots of success stories. Because of that, our engineers got motivated, and now they are doing lots of innovations. So then we can see the new things every week. Okay, hey Chandana, we found this. Shall we try this out? And especially with your help, Kushat, we are proceeding with R&Ds. Yeah, I think that's the future I can see.
Right. One additional question, Chandana, regarding anybody who is in the audience who would like to try these tools out. Let's say a QA engineer or a senior QA engineer who is a bit worried about trying these tools, but they also want to explore what is out there to benefit from those tools. Any message that you can pass? What are the steps that they can take to at least to try out? What steps you can share at this point?
Yeah, exactly. The simple thing what we can do is that they need to come out from their comfort zone. So then they can try out that small thing. It could be a writing automation script for a login script, but they can integrate the AI tools and also the agents. So simply they can see that, okay, how these AI is supported. But Kishan, the mindset is really important that so every time we need to think, okay, I'm taking this as a kind of a tool, but it should not replace me. So I believe that the newcomers or the beginners who wants to or would like to try this out, they should believe that the AI won't replace me. Definitely AI will support me as a tool and the skill. So I think that's the first thing we need to understand. So then actually they can come and understand. So one motivation thing, Kushan. So in one of my projects, so he was the fully manual QA engineer. Even he did not know about that the playwright or anything. So then the motivation is like what we did was that okay, we started with small item. Actually, in our backlog, it's a minor item. We assigned to as a shall we start this? Okay, these are the guidelines, and this is how every day in the stand up we discussed about it. So luckily, was first week or second week he shown us like a good progress. But after that, it's a very rapid progress. Then end of the month he shown us, hey Chandana, I did this framework and I'm so familiar to me. So now actually he's doing really great. Now it was a very critical project. Now he's a one-man show. And he said that, oh man, I don't have work. I have zero backlog. So this is how the things build progress, Krishan. I think this is one the good motivation for every beginners.
Thank you, Chandana. Thanks for joining us today and sharing all your experience, examples. And I think you've done a phenomenal job in this space and, in all the other spaces you're involved in. Thank you very much for joining us. And yes, so thank you, everybody, for joining. Hope, we added some value to this particular podcast by, sharing these examples and these stats. Join us next time for another very insightful podcast. with another very special guest. Until then, thank you very much and have a good day.